Welcome. This is Peter Coll from MACS Live at MACS 2024 with our special guest, Tim Iezzi, a new podcast coming out. Tim, how are you?
I am doing very well, Peter. How are you today?
I am outstanding. Looking forward to the close of our event here. It's been fantastic. How about you? What do you think?
I thought it was great. I thought everything was well attended. The speakers were awesome. Great variety of classes. Something for everyone. It was awesome.
We had some new programs this year. New programs where we did a refrigerant manufacturers panel on Friday morning, and wow, went off without a hitch. So happy that happened. We had some new trainers, we had some old trainers, and Tim, you even trained for us.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and you are now on the board of directors too.
Yes, I am now on the board of directors. So I guess I'm technically your boss now.
You are my boss. So am I going to have a job tomorrow when we're done?
Well, at least tomorrow. Let's reconsider. We'll talk about it on Monday.
We'll talk about it on Monday. So we had hours and hours of training. I think more than 40 hours of training. 70 hours of training. I think we had 35 classes, something like that. And barring some minor issues, we had a great trade show. We had some great weather. You can't beat the great weather we had here in Florida.
Not.
Yeah. How about those parties?
Parties were great. Coming from, it's February, we're from the Northeast. It was snowing last week. Able to network with the best of the best in the industry by a pool, drinking a beer in Florida. It's pretty cool in February.
One beer?
One night.
One beer, one night. And we had an absolutely outstanding staff. They took care of everything we needed. We got to thank Lisa and Maria and Alexa and Lynn. And we even brought in a brand new executive director, Megan Cappy.
Yeah. And I want to echo from the board of directors your thoughts about how awesome a job the staff did. Everything, anytime you put on an event like this, there's going to be problems. It's going to happen. But every problem, the staff took head on and said, how do we fix this?
Yeah.
And we fixed it and made sure every attendee had an awesome event. I'm very much looking forward to working with Megan over the rest of my term on the board of directors. I think she is going to be an awesome person to help lead our association and take us to the next level.
Yeah, she just walked out of a meeting. You can't see her. She's actually behind camera there. She just came out of a meeting planning for 2025 already. Is there a favorite highlight from 2024 that you want to point to?
There's so many. It's been a great event, but I'd say I think we had one of the best trade shows we've had in recent years. Lots of new products, lots of great interaction. It'd probably be between the trade show and the networking opportunities at the receptions. There's nowhere else that you get this much OEM interaction from all the OEMs, the vendors, that you can walk up to someone from Ford or from Chrysler and ask a question, and they'll talk to you.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'm always proudest of that we have here is we get the engineers and the people who know things at our trade show booths. These aren't sales reps from a local agency. These are the people who actually either design the equipment, fix the equipment, product management the equipment, and they know more about it than anybody else. And this is about the only place that you can get that type of AC knowledge and AC contacts of any of the big shows that are around here in the U.S.
Absolutely. And I've heard that from friends that have been here for the first time over various years, have come back and said, there's nothing else. There's nowhere that you can go and see and have that open of an interaction. Where are you going to walk into a trade show booth and see, oh, this is the guy who made that product.
Right.
Who else knows more than that person?
Yeah, exactly. So let me just give you a little recap of what we had, because I know you weren't here for the entire week. I pulled in on Monday. On Tuesday, we had the AMRA MAP technical co-chairs meeting. They had about 80 people come to that, and then a little reception on Tuesday night. That continued on Wednesday morning, and Wednesday morning, AMRA wrapped up their event, and then we took over on Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday afternoon, we had a great golf event, 48 players over at Eagle Creek. And as I told those guys, one of the great things about playing golf in Florida is if the weather's right, that takes care of 75% of the problems you could ever have. We also had a Prevo event, Prevo training event, remote at the Prevo service facility. Prevo was kind enough to bring a bus out for us, haul our folks about a half an hour away, and provide Prevo training. I don't think you had arrived yet for the Prevo training.
No, I'm mad that I wound up had my flight scheduled before the time was locked in for that, and wound up getting in a little bit too late. Otherwise, I heard nothing but good things about that event. Everyone said it was one of their highlights of the weekend. Everyone that went.
Yeah, we heard the same thing, and so then we had a board meeting on Wednesday night. You know, that's always exciting when you have a board meeting somewhere. But almost world record time, 65 minutes to be exact, if you want to know the truth, from start to finish. After we sorted out a little technical problem, courtesy of Trey Carlisle helping us out there. Then we picked up on Thursday morning with the start of our actual training. That other than the Prevo event, great keynote lunch from Carm Capriato and our Pioneer Awards, and we want to congratulate Larry Hayes, Robert Brox, and Tom Massey for receiving Pioneer Awards for 2023. I think it's just a tremendous compliment to them for their contributions for the industry. And Tim, I know that you're kind of a young buck, if you will, although now in the threes, not in the twos anymore. So you still got another 20, 25 years to go, but someday you may receive that Pioneer Award.
Maybe. We'll find out.
We'll find out. Yeah, we'll see if that happens. We continue with training Thursday afternoon, more full slots of training, a member meeting, 4:30 to 5, a little meet and greet with Megan Cappy, our new executive director and the board, and then a tremendous welcoming reception, and just couldn't have been happier with the way that came off on Thursday night. I think everybody had a great time. As a matter of fact, I think everybody was left out there at the bar for an extra hour, even after the reception ended, because they were just enjoying the great weather. Then Friday, let's talk about Friday. Great general session in the morning. Any highlights there from the EPA or from MACS or?
It's great getting with every year when Shanice from the EPA comes and gives us an update of what's going on their end. It's so good to get the information right from the proverbial horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Because there's so much conjecture, and you get he said, she said, and getting that clarification of, no, this is exactly what we're going to do today. This is what we're thinking about doing. Is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else that you're going to get that have the ability to ask questions right to the EPA.
Yeah. We couldn't be happier with the way that came off in our refrigerant manufacturers panel. Thanks to Chris Seaton from Cora and Kurt Vincent from Honeywell, Janet Maxwell from Daikin. Our friends at SK Chemical from South Korea also joined us, and who am I leaving out? Oh, Jason Uhas from Chemours. And they gave us an update on what we call the TMR CRP, and it's an SAE program, cooperative research program, where we're looking at the next refrigerant and the next refrigerant design, probably a heat pump, for electric vehicles in order to reduce the use of PTC heaters, or positive temperature coefficient heaters, to stretch battery life, improve range, and provide more thermal management for the battery, the electronics, and the passenger compartment. Don't know that we've ever seen something like that before, and having 6 candidates, was there a favorite candidate you had up there?
I think listening to the proposals and the information about all of them, I think there are a number that had benefits. I think they all have pluses and minuses, which is part of what the CRP is about, is figuring out what the best pluses and minuses are. As a shop owner, I like the idea put YF in everything.
Right.
Because that means I don't have to buy new equipment, and I'm cheap. I don't want to buy new equipment.
There you go, and you're right that there's pluses and minuses to everything, and that really certainly is in the plus column for Honeywell and 1234YF, the ability to continue using our existing equipment the same as we have for the past, I guess now 13 years, 12 years, whatever it might be. And then we jumped right to our trade show with a great lunch sponsored by Bergstrom. I got more comments on how good lunch was, I think, than any other event we had.
That's so stereotypical of automotive events.
It is, and if we just turn around for a second, and you're going to see there's two of our wonderful staff members, Alexa and Lisa, walking down the hallway. You maybe see Steve way in the background, but lunch was great. Trade show was great. And then we had an after party, and Honeywell was kind enough to sponsor the after party. Another event where the folks just couldn't get enough, and I saw people out there at 6:30, and the after party ended at 5.
I think I was one of the last people that came back inside at 6:30, and I will admit I did have more than one beer last night.
You did. Okay. All right. So that's our Friday. We're now in our Saturday, and Saturday started off with another round of great training here at MACS. And then we had a town hall lunch with Carm Capriato and Ted Hughes. And we had a tremendous topic that's so important to the entire industry. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
So today we were talking about our right to repair and the question of who owns the data that is coming out of your vehicle and how much access and who should have access to that data. And that there is legislation in front of the U.S. House of Representatives that is in committee about defining and giving access to the information that the car is collecting that you don't know it's collecting, giving that to you as the vehicle owner, and making it available to us as independent service providers, some of the predictive data that the OEMs are collecting. We've got cars that are more instrumented than they've ever been. We've got cars that are now capable of doing testing that us in the aftermarket, we were only capable of doing with specialized test equipment. We've got GM products out there that GM can predict when the fuel pump is going to fail by looking at the current that's being drawn by the battery monitoring sensor, that the starter's going to fail, the battery's going to fail. And making sure that we have access to that data so that we can fix the vehicle owner's car more efficiently.
Yeah, because without the aftermarket, car repair would be just an absolute nightmare. We're just such an important part of the economic system here in the United States and around the world for aftermarket auto repair. I know that there was a comment in there about when we had a shortage of vehicles, when vehicles were real hard to come by from the dealers, and where the used car market had gotten extremely expensive, and the car dealers became the aftermarket. They would go to auction, and a Ford dealer would buy a Nissan at auction, so they had something to put on their lot, and they needed to repair that, and guess what? Their scan tools couldn't do it. They didn't have the data for it. And now they had to struggle to get that data so that they could repair it. And then they got a firsthand lesson in exactly what we were seeing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's one of the things, when I'm traveling and I'm training and I'm talking to people, the dealer guys have absolutely no clue what it's like in the aftermarket. I heard someone that was a dealer guy here say, yeah, I left the dealer, now I have to buy my own software.
Right.
And so I didn't realize how good I had it.
Right. Well, we're coming up on our afternoon break on Tuesday, and as soon as afternoon break's done, we're going to have about another hour and a half of training, and then that's going to close out MACS 2024, and we're going to be right back here at the Rosen in Orlando, Rosen Centre, because there's about 7 of them, Rosen Centre here in Orlando, back at the very end of January of 2025, the very beginning of February of 2025, and we're going to have all this fun. We're going to do it all over again. You looking forward to it?
That depends. Are the Comic-Con people going to be here again?
Yeah, so that's another thing. So we may do a separate episode. I actually brought another camera system so that I might be able to do some filming there. MegaCon is here in town, and we started the week with CattleCon.
Yep.
And
SpaceCon.
And and Space Con and the Eat More Beef folks, and love me a good filet. You like a good filet? Absolutely love a good filet. And now we've got MegaCon in town. So the viewing from just the lobby, whatever it might be, is fantastic. I never knew that there were so many different characters out there from so many different movies and shows, and that you could see them all in one place.
And that the people are so devoted to the amount of time they put into those costumes is incredible.
It is, and some of them are robotic and so forth. And it's funny, some of them have learned even a brand new language because you see them walking down the hall and they're talking Wookiee or something. Yeah. Because apparently, when you do one of these events, you are in character from the moment you're in any visible public until the time you're not in visible public. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know if MegaCon's going to be back in town, but Tim, I want to thank you for coming out. I really do. I want to thank you for joining us on a podcast today for Mobile Air Climate Systems Association at MACS 2024. I am Peter Coll, and
I'm Tim Iezzi, and we'll hopefully see you here next year.
I hope so. Cheers.